The rain hammered down on the Brooklyn Bridge like God's own fury, turning the East River into a churning black beast below. Daniel stood at the edge, wind whipping his soaked jacket, the kind of cold that seeps into your bones and whispers, "Just jump. It ends." His phone buzzed one last time in his pocket. Mom's voice from Ohio, shrill and final. "You're no son of mine, Daniel. Don't come back." He'd always known this day would come. 24 years of hiding, of stolen glances at the high school quarterback, of burying himself in books and dreams of escaping the cornfields. New York was supposed to be the fix, a glittering escape hatched to a life where he could breathe. But tonight, after his boss at the coffee shop outed him to the whole crew in a drunken rant, and his one real friend ghosted him with a text that read, "Sorry, man, you're too much drama," the city felt like a concrete tomb closing in. Daniel's fingers gripped the railing, knuckles white, the metal biting into his palms. The water below called like an old lover, promising silence. He closed his eyes, tasting salt, tears, or rain. Who cared? And leaned forward. One step. That's all it would take. "Hey, you okay there, buddy?" The voice cut through the storm like a lifeline tossed from nowhere. Daniel's eyes snapped open. A man was striding toward him, broad-shouldered and unyielding, his leather jacket slick with rain but his stride pure confidence, like he owned the storm itself. Tall, maybe 6'3", with a jawline that could cut glass and eyes the color of storm clouds, gray, piercing, alive. Daniel blinked, water streaming down his face. "What the? Get away from me." The guy didn't flinch. He stopped a few feet back, hands up like he was approaching a spooked horse. "Name's William. Saw you from across the bridge. Looked like you were about to make a real bad choice. Mind if I join you? Misery loves company, right?" Daniel laughed, a bitter, broken sound that echoed off the cables. "Join me? In jumping? Be my guest." "Water's fine." William's lips quirked. Not quite a smile, but something warmer. He closed the distance in 2 steps, grabbing Daniel's arm, not rough, but firm, like an anchor. "Nah. How about coffee instead? There's a spot off Cadman Plaza. Dry, hot, and 0 bridges." Daniel yanked away, but the pull lingered, electric. No one had touched him like that in years, not since that fumbling night in college that ended in regret and silence. "Why do you care? You don't know me." "Because I've been there." William's voice dropped, raw edges showing. "Edge of the George Washington, sophomore year at Columbia. Thought the world would be better without my queer ass in it. Spoiler, it wasn't. And neither will this for you." The words hit like a slap, then a hug. Daniel's knees buckled, and William caught him, pulling him back from the rail with effortless strength. Close. He smelled like cedar and rain, alpha through and through, the kind of guy who filled a room without trying. Daniel sagged against him, sobs ripping free, and for the first time that night, he didn't feel alone. They ended up in that dive coffee shop, steam fogging the windows, the hiss of the espresso machine drowning out the downpour. Daniel nursed a black Americano, hands trembling around the mug, while William he insisted, sipped something frothy and ordered them both slices of apple pie like it was the cure for everything. "So, spill," Will said, leaning back in the booth, his long legs brushing Daniel's under the table. "Accidental?" Daniel's pulse said no. "What's got you bridge-bound?" Daniel stared into his coffee, the dark swirl mirroring his thoughts. Everything. My family's done with me. Job's a joke. And, yeah, I'm gay. Just came out to the wrong people at the wrong time. Will nodded. No judgment. Just that steady gaze. Welcome to the club. Mine disowned me at 17. Dad found my stash of magazines, the ones with guys who look like they could bench press a Buick. Threw me out with a Bible and a bus ticket to the city. Daniel looked up. Really looked. Will was maybe 28, with faint laugh lines around his eyes and a tattoo peeking from his sleeve. A wolf's head. Fierce and loyal. And you made it. Big shot now. Ha! Will chuckled. Low and rumbling. Trying. Work in finance. Boring as hell. But pays the rent on a shoebox in Chelsea. What about you? Besides looking like a drowned poet. Daniel, he muttered. Barista by day. Aspiring writer by night. Stories no one wants to read. Try me. Will's foot nudged his again. Deliberate this time. Heat bloomed in Daniel's chest, chasing the chill. They talked until the shop kicked them out at closing. Rain reduced to a drizzle. Walking back to Daniel's cramped Bushwick walk-up, Will's arms slung casual over his shoulders, like they'd known each other forever. At the door, Daniel hesitated, key in hand. Thanks. For, Will's hand cupped his jaw, thumb brushing a stray wet curl from his forehead. Anytime, Danny. Get some sleep. And hey, tomorrow? Brunch. My treat. There's this place in the village with pancakes that could fix a broken heart. Daniel's breath caught. No one's called him Danny since he was a kid. Yeah. Okay. Will leaned in, lips brushing his temple soft, promising more. Night. The door clicked shut, and Daniel slid down it, heart pounding. For the first time in forever, the future didn't look like a void. It looked like gray eyes and apple pie and a hand that wouldn't let go. The next morning, sunlight slanted through Daniel's grimy window like an apology. He woke with a start. Phone clutched in his fist. 10 missed calls from Mom. But he let them ring. Instead, he texted Will, pancakes sound dangerous. What time? 11. I'll pick you up. We're something cute. Daniel laughed. Actually laughed. As he rummaged for his least faded jeans. Cute. When was the last time anyone wanted him to be cute? Will arrived in a beat-up Jeep. Top down despite the chill. Blasting Springsteen like they were in some Jersey Shore rom-com. Hop in. Storyteller. Adventure awaits. The village was alive. Street artists hawking sketches. Dogs on leashes that cost more than Daniel's rent. Couples hand in hand without a care. At the diner, sticky booths and waitstaff who called you Han. They demolished stacks of flapjacks drowned in maple, while stealing bites from Daniel's plate with a wink that made his stomach flip. Tell me something real, Will said, syrup on his chin, voice turning serious. That story you're writing, what's it about? Daniel poked at his eggs, vulnerability creeping back. A guy who runs away from home, finds a city that chews him up. But maybe, finds someone who makes it worth staying. Will's eyes locked on his, intense. Sounds like a winner. You got a hero. Yeah. Kinda like you. The words slipped out, bold and terrifying. Will reached across, lacing their fingers. His hand was warm, calloused real. Good. 'Cause I'm in it for the long haul. By afternoon, they were wandering Washington Square Park, leaves crunching underfoot, Will's arm around Daniel's waist like it belonged there. They kissed under the arch, slow, deep, the world fading to just the taste of him, coffee and want. Daniel's first real kiss, unhurried, with a man who saw him. That night, tangled in Will's sheets in his Chelsea loft, exposed brick, skyline view, Daniel whispered secrets into the dark. Abusive uncle back home. The terror of mirrors, hating the body that betrayed him. Will listened, holding him close, murmuring, "You're safe now. I've got you." For weeks, it was bliss. Will's alpha energy wrapped Daniel like armor. Dinners at hole-in-the-wall Italian joints. Lazy Sundays binging old movies. Will reading Daniel's drafts aloud with exaggerated voices that had them both in stitches. Daniel quit the coffee gig. Landed a freelance editing spot through Will's connections. Life bloomed. But shadows lingered. A call from his sister. "Dad's sick. Danny. Come home." He froze. Phone shaking. Home, the word tasted like ash. Will pulled him onto the couch that night. Strong arms a fortress. "You don't have to go alone. I'll drive you." Midwest road trip. Think of the diners. Daniel buried his face in his neck. "They hate me. What if? Shoo. We'll face it together." Will's promise sealed with a kiss. Fierce and binding. The drive to Ohio was a blur of highways and heartbeats. Will's hand on his thigh the whole way. A steady pulse. They pulled up to the farmhouse at dusk. Gravel crunching like bones. Mom met them at the door. Eyes red-rimmed. Dad's cough echoing from inside. "This your friend?" she asked, voice tight, eyeing Will's height, his easy grip on Daniel's hand. "William," Will said, extending his free hand. "Pleasure. Daniel's told me a lot about you." Dinner was torture, silent forks scraping plates. Dad's glares like daggers. "So, city boy," he grunted at Will. "What do you do that makes my son forget his roots?" Will didn't blink. "Love him, sir. That's my job." The table went still. Daniel's heart thundered. Mom's fork clattered. But Dad just nodded. Once, and the tension cracked, just a hair. Later, in the guest room, Daniel collapsed against Will. "You didn't have to say that." "Yeah, I did." Will's fingers traced his spine. "Because it's true." They left 2 days later. Dad a fraction softer. A gruff take care at the door. On the road back, Daniel felt lighter, like he'd shed a skin. "I love you," he said, the words tumbling free. Will swerved to the shoulder, pulled him across the console for a kiss that tasted like forever. "Love you more, Danny. Always." Back in the city, they built a rhythm. Will's promotion to junior partner. Daniel's first published short story in some lit mag. Nights of passion. Bodies learning each other like sacred text. Will's strength, Daniel's softness, they fit. But cracks formed slow. Will's late nights at the office. Texts from clients that lit his phone at odd hours. Daniel ignored it, chalked it up to paranoia. Until the night he came home early, found Will on the couch, phone face down, guilt in his eyes. "Just work," Will said too quick. Daniel nodded, but the seed planted. Doubt. Months blurred into a golden haze, but that doubt festered like a bruise you keep poking. Daniel threw himself into writing, fingers flying over keys in their new shared apartment. Will's idea: a sunny one-bed in the East Village with fire escapes perfect for stolen smokes and stargazing. Our fortress, Will called it, hanging fairy lights that twinkled like his promises. One crisp October evening, Daniel surprised him with tickets to a Broadway show, Rent, because irony, right? Mark and Roger, lost boys finding love in the chaos. Will's eyes lit up, that boyish grin erasing the shadows. You're a sap, Danny. In the theater, shoulder to shoulder, Daniel's hand in his. The music swelled, no day but today, and tears pricked. Will squeezed, whispering, that's us. Every damn day, after, over late-night falafel, buzzed on cheap wine, Daniel broached it. You've been distant. Late calls. Tell me it's nothing. Will's fork paused midair. Falafel crumbling. It's stress. Big merger at work. Nothing real. But Daniel saw the flicker. Lie? Fear? He let it drop, chasing the high of the night. They tumbled into bed. Will's body a wildfire, hands mapping every inch like he was memorizing. You're mine, he growled against Daniel's throat, and Daniel believed it, lost in the rhythm of skin on skin. The next week, Daniel's agent called. His story collection got a bite from a small press. Humanistic gay tales with heart, she said. They love the vulnerability. He raced home, bursting through the door with champagne. Will was there, tie loosened, but his phone lit up again, unknown number. Celebrate with me? Daniel popped the cork, foam spilling like joy. Will pocketed the phone, smile forced. Hell yeah. To you, superstar. They danced in the kitchen to Motown on the Bluetooth, Will spinning him until dizzy, laughter echoing off the walls. But as they collapsed onto the rug, breathless, Daniel's eye caught the screen glow from Will's jacket. Miss you tonight. Come over, Jay. Who the fuck was Jay? He didn't ask. Not then. Instead, he pulled Will closer, kissing away the questions. But sleep evaded him that night. Will's snores steady beside him while Daniel stared at the ceiling. Heart a war drum. The betrayal brewed subtle. Will's work dinners stretched longer. His cologne mingling with unfamiliar scents. Cigar smoke. Expensive aftershave. Daniel buried it in deadlines, in the glow of his manuscript. His book deal signed. Launch party in 2 months. Proud of you, Will said, but his hugs felt looser, like he was already half gone. Thanksgiving loomed, and Daniel's sister texted, Dad's better. Come home, bring your man. He showed Will, hopeful. Road trip redux? Will hesitated, checking his calendar app. Can't. Client in Chicago that week. Lie, Daniel thought, but said, okay. Rain check. He went alone. The farmhouse warmer this time. Mom's pie. Dad's awkward pat on the back. Heard about your book. Sounds fancy. Progress. But the empty passenger seat ached. A ghost of Will's hand. Back in NYC, snow dusting the streets, Daniel confronted the elephant. Waited up till 2 a.m. Coat still on when Will stumbled in. Ty ask you. Where? Meeting ran late. Bar after. With who? Jay? Will froze. Color draining. What? The texts. I saw. Miss you. Who is she? He? Them? It's nothing. An old friend. Ex-colleague. Jealous much? Daniel's laugh was hollow. Jealous? Try heartbroken. You're pulling away. Will. If it's over, just say it. Will crossed the room in 2 strides, cupping his face. It's not. God. Danny. You're everything. Kiss then. Desperate. Hands fisting shirts. They fell into it. Makeup sex raw and reclaiming. Will pinning him to the wall. Whispers of sorry. Love you. Never leaving. Daniel clung. Believing again. Forgiveness was his love language. After all. But Jay didn't vanish. A forgotten jacket yielded a matchbook. The Eagle's Nest. Private club. Daniel Googled it later. Stomach dropping. Members only. Upscale. The kind of place alphas like Will went to prowl. Reviews whispered of discretion. Of men in suits sealing deals. Or more. He didn't accuse. Instead, he planned the launch party like armor. Invited the whole scene. Agents. Writers. Will's firm buddies. Show him, he told his mirror reflection. You're worth staying for. The night arrived. Gallery in Soho buzzing with laughter and clinking glasses. Daniel in a slim black suit. Hairstyled. Reading from his book to thunderous applause. In the end, he read. Voice steady. Love isn't a promise kept in quiet. It's fought for in the storm. Will was there. Arm around him on stage. Beaming. My guy, he toasted later, pulling Daniel into a shadowed corner for a kiss that curled toes. Proud doesn't cover it, but across the room, a tall blonde in a tailored vest caught Daniel's eye, laughing too close to Will's ear during small talk, hand lingering on his elbow. Jay? Will pulled away quick, but the seed sprouted thorns. After, buzzed on adrenaline and Merlot, they hailed a cab home. In the back seat, Will's head on Daniel's shoulder, murmuring, You're a star, baby. Don't ever doubt us. Daniel wanted to. God, he did. But as the city lights streaked by, he chose trust one more time. Winter deepened, holidays a whirlwind. They strung lights on the fire escape, baked gingerbread that burned, made love by the tree Will dragged home from a lot. Traditions, Will said, nuzzling his neck. Ours. New Year's Eve. Rooftop party in Chelsea. Fireworks popping over the Hudson. Champagne flutes clinking. Will pulled him to the edge. Crowd fading. This year, he said. Gray eyes locked. I promise. No more secrets. You're my future, Danny. They kissed as midnight struck. Confetti raining. Daniel's heart full. Resolution, believe. Spring thawed the doubt. Or so he thought. Daniel's book hit shelves. Modest sales. But reviews glowed. Tender. Unflinching portrait of queer resilience. Readings in Brooklyn bookstores. Signings where fans whispered, This saved me. Will showed up to everyone. Flowers in hand. That alpha pride swelling his chest. My writer's famous. But the late nights crept back. Conference in Boston. Team building in the Hamptons. Daniel nodded. Buried in edits for book 2. Until one rainy Tuesday, coming home from a pitch meeting, he saw it. Will's Jeep parked outside a brownstone in Gramercy. One he'd never mentioned. Curiosity, or masochism. Daniel waited in the shadows, heart hammering. 20 minutes. Then Will emerged, disheveled, laughing, arm around the blonde from the party. Jay. They kissed on the stoop, deep and hungry, before Will slid into his car and drove off. Daniel stood there, rain soaking through, world tilting. Betrayal, sharp as glass in his gut. He didn't cry. Not yet. Walked home in a daze, the apartment mocking him, photos on the fridge, their mugs side by side. When Will got home at dawn, reeking of bourbon and lies, Daniel was packed. One duffel, essentials. Out, he said, voice steel he didn't feel. Danny, wait, no. I saw. Jay. Whoever the fuck. We're done. Will's face crumpled, reaching. It was a mistake. One night. I swear. A mistake? Or many? Daniel backed away. You promised. Will. Never leave? You already did. He left the key on the counter. Door slamming like a guillotine. Streets blurred. Tears hot. Subway to his sister's couch in Queens. Temporary. But safe. Days bled. Will's texts, please. I love you. Let me fix. Deleted. Daniel wrote furiously. Fury fueling pages of anguish. A new story birthing from the wreckage. The Alpha's lie. At a reading 2 weeks later, voice cracking on stage, he poured it out. Crowd hushed, rapt. Afterward, a fan approached, older, kind eyes. That hurt to hear. But it's beautiful. You're brave, brave. Daniel clung to that. Will showed up at the next one. Uninvited, eyes haunted. Danny. Talk to me. Go. Not without you. He followed to the alley. Rain starting again. Fate's cruel echo. I fucked up. Jay was. Weakness. Old habit from before you. But you're my home. Please. Daniel's resolve cracked. Just a fracture. Why? Why him? Will stepped closer. Rain matting his hair. Fear. Of this us being too good. Too real. I panicked. Truth? Or more smoke? Daniel searched those gray eyes. Found regret. Bro. I can't trust you. Then let me earn it. Will drop to one knee. Right there in the puddle-strewn alley. Pulling a small box from his pocket. Not a ring, a key. To a cabin upstate. Weekend. Just us. No phones. Rebuild. Daniel's breath hitched. Romantic fool. Still. One chance. Will rose. Crushing him in a hug. All I need. The drive north was silent. Tension thick as fog. Cabin by a lake. Rustic. Wood smoke scent. No signal. They unpacked. Awkward dances around the kitchen. Dinner. Pasta. Wine. Will's hands shaking as he poured. I'm sorry, he started. Fire crackling. For everything. Daniel nodded. Throat tight. Hurt like hell. They talked till stars wheeled, Will's past. Closeted hookups. Fear of commitment. You made me want forever. Scared me shitless. Vulnerability cracked the ice. Laughter followed. Tentative. Bed that night. Slow. Tentative touches rebuilding bridges. Will's whispers. I love you. No more shadows. Morning hike. Leaves unfurling green. Lake Miracom. At the dock. Will took his hand. Promise. Never again. Daniel believed. Foolish. Hopeful. They drove back renewed. Hands linked. Summer hummed. Passion reignited. Will's promotion. Daniel's book tour LA. Chicago. Whispers of movie rights. They traveled together when they could. Hotel nights tangled in sheets. City skylines witnesses. But autumn winds carried whispers. A mutual friend at a bar. Heard Will's been seen with Jay again. Sorry, man. Daniel confronted. Calm. Truth. Will's denial crumbled under the weight. It stopped. Swear. Lies. Daniel walked again, this time to a sublet in Brooklyn. Heart armored now. The sublet was a shoebox in Bed-Stuy, peeling wallpaper, radiator that clanged like accusations at night. Daniel paid week to week, scraping by on royalties and odd gigs, the city's pulse a mocking reminder of what he'd lost. Will's texts tapered. Miss you. Call, then silence. Good, Daniel thought. Clean break. But clean? Ah. His notebook filled with jagged prose, betrayal's elegy, love's autopsy. A new manuscript, shadows on the bridge, semi-autobiographical, raw as open veins. His agent snatched it. This'll gut readers. Sign here. Readings became therapy. In a cramped Williamsburg bookstore, voice steady, he took my hand, promised the stars. But alphas lie, and bridges call. Applause, teary eyes. After, a cute barista type lingered. That was me. Last year. Wanna grab coffee? Tempting. Normal. But Daniel's heart echoed hollow. Rain check. He wasn't ready. Not yet. Thanksgiving alone, takeout turkey. Netflix numb. His sister called. Come here. Dad asks about you. About Will. She sighed. Yeah. And you. He went. Train rattling like regrets. Farmhouse glowed. Pie scents wrapping him. Dad in his armchair. Freilier. Heard the new book's a hit. Proud. Son. Proud. The word unlocked something. Hugs. Tears, family mending. Stitch by stitch. Back in Brooklyn. Snow blanketing brownstones. Daniel's world shrank to pages and coffee runs. Until the call. Shadows shortlisted for a Lambda Lit award. Glamour gala in Manhattan. Tux required. He almost skipped it. But fuck Will, this was his. Rented a suit. Slicked his hair. Stepped into the plaza like he belonged. Flashbulbs. Champagne flutes. Queer icons mingling. Daniel nursed a gin. Nerves jangling. Until the host called his name. Podium under chandeliers. Lights blinding. This book. It's for the boys on bridges. The ones who think love's a lie. It's not. It's messy. Yeah. But it's worth the fall. Cheers erupted. He won. Microphone shaking. Tears hot. To second chances. Even when they hurt. Back at the bar. Cluster of admirers, publishers, fans. Then, him. Will. Tux sharp. Eyes wrecked. Danny. You were. Incredible. Daniel's grip tightened on his glass. Don't. Just congrats. And I'm sorry. Again. Save it. But Will didn't move. That alpha pull magnetic. They talked. Stilted. Then spilling. Will's firm imploded. Merger soured. Layoffs. Jay bailed when the money dried. Hit rock bottom. Saw clear you're it. The only real thing. Daniel's walls quivered. Too late. Is it? Will's hand hovered. Not touching. I changed therapy. Groups. Working on me. Honest. Daniel searched, found cracks of truth. Prove it, Will nodded. Every day, they parted with numbers exchanged, cautious bridge. Coffee the next week, neutral ground. Will, subdued, no grand gestures. Just listening as Daniel vented. The pain, the rebuild. You're glowing, Will said. Stronger. You broke me first. I know, regret etched deep. Weeks turned tentative. Walks in Prospect Park. Leaves gold. No hands held. Will shared his journal, pages of guilt. Growth. Daniel read, heart thawing slow. One night, after a reading where Will sat front row, quiet support, they lingered outside. Rain misting, street lamps haloed. I miss us, Will whispered. Daniel stepped closer, breath mingling. Me too, kiss soft, testing. Fire rekindled, but tempered. They went slow dates, not dives. Will's new job, nonprofit finance, helping queer youth shelters. Payback, he said. Daniel watched, wary but warming. Book tour ramped, Philly, Boston. Will tagged along to one. Hotel room platonic till the third night. Walls down, bodies crashing like waves. I love you, Will gasped, foreheads pressed. Forever this time, Daniel believed, guarded, but yes. Summer scorched the city, their rhythm sinking. Beach weekends in the Hamptons, borrowed beach house, no J haunts. Will cooked burnt steaks, laughter. Daniel wrote by the waves, Will sketching him, my muse, but conflict simmered. Daniel's rising star interviews, podcasts spotlight harsh. A profile in Out Mag, from bridge to bestseller, Daniel's triumph over betrayal. Will read it over breakfast. Jaw tight. They named me? No. Alpha X. Anonymous. Still stings. Quiet. Then, proud. Though, tension lingered. At a launch for Daniel's third book, Hearts Unchained, paparazzi swarmed. Flashes popped. Questions flew. Gay love stories personal? Daniel smiled. Deflected. Will at his side. Hand possessive on his back. After party. Though. Will drank too much. Cornered a reporter. Back off my man. Daniel pulled him away. Jealousy's ugly. Not jealous. Protective. Same difference. Cab ride home silent. Storm brewing. Bed that night, cold shoulders. Morning fight exploded, Will yelling, you parade our shit for sales. Daniel firing back, it's my story. You lost claim when you cheated. Slap of truth. Will stormed out, door slamming. Days of radio silence. Daniel dove into work. Tour dates blurring. Philly reading sold out. Fans chanting his name. Backstage. Nausea hit. Morning sickness? No. Wait. Test at a drugstore positive. Wait. What? Daniel stared. World spinning. Wills. There's panic. Call him? Hide? He texted, need to talk. Urgent. Will showed at the sublet, no. Their old place. Subleased back. Eyes red. Hopeful. Danny. I'm pregnant. Silence. Then Will's face lit, joy. Terror. We. A family? Daniel nodded. Tears spilling. Scared shitless. Will knelt. Hands on his belly. Flat still. But real. Then we do it together. Marry me? Not for this, for us. Ring this time. Simple silver. Daniel, yes, sobbing. But doubt whispered. Therapy couples sessions. Will's patterns unpacked. Jay, a symptom of abandonment fears. Daniel's too. People-pleaser roots. Progress. Messy. Ultrasound first kick. Tiny heartbeat. Miracle. Will there. Hand in hand. Fall deepened. Bump showing. Book tour cut short, health first. Media frenzy. Queer authors baby joy. Haters trolled. Freak show family. Daniel blocked. Focused on nest. Nursery paint. Onesies. Thanksgiving, Ohio again. Mom cooing over bump. Dad gruff. Grandkid. Ha. Will fit. Chopping wood like a pioneer. Christmas. Tree in the apartment. Lights twinkling. Will on one knee again, vows whispered. I promise. Hand in hand. Always. Daniel believed. Whole. But winter storms brew dark. January. Snowstorm trapping them in. Power out. Candles flickering. Will's phone buzzed. Jay's number. Blocked but persistent. Congrats on the kid. Miss what we had. Daniel saw. Confronted calm. Block for real. Or we're done. Will did. Tears. I choose you. Every time. Trust rebuilt. Brick by brick. Spring birthed hope and the baby. Hospital room. May dawn. Little Alex. Crying lusty. Will held him first. Tears streaming. Our future. Daniel watched. Heart full. Humanistic mess. Love. Flawed. Enduring. Fatherhood hit like a freight train. Diapers at 3 a.m. Alex's wails piercing the thin walls. Will's exhausted grins over bottles. But joy laced the chaos. Tiny fists clutching fingers. Milky smiles that melted steel. Daniel's world narrowed to this. Naps stolen in rocking chairs. Will's lullabies off-key but earnest. Look at him, Will murmured one night. Alex asleep between them. Our bridge. Daniel traced the baby's lashes. Will's arm heavy across his waist. Yeah. No jumping now. The city softened around them. Stroller walks in Tompkins Square. Neighbors cooing Mazel Tov, like it was everyday magic. Daniel's writing shifted. Essays on queer parenting. Columns in The Advocate. Love isn't linear, he penned. It's a loop, falls, climbs, holds. Will thrive too, nonprofit steady. Mentoring kids like he'd once been. Paying forward, he'd say. Coming home with stories of teens who'd found their first safe space. But fame's shadow lengthened. Shadows optioned for film, LA meetings. Script reads. Daniel jetted west. Alex in tow with Will working remote. Poolside at the chateau. Agent buzzing. Indie darling wants to direct. Authentic gay lead. Excitement soured quick. Additions. Actors fumbling vulnerability. One alpha type smirking. I get the betrayal arc. Cheated on my wife once. Laugh track. Daniel walked. Fuming. Back home. He unloaded on Will. They twist it. Make us punchlines. Will pulled him close. Alex gurgling in the playpen. Then control it. Write the script yourself. Bold. Daniel did nights after bedtime. Laptop glow. Will read drafts. Notes gentle. Deeper here. Like us. Summer sweltered. Family road trip. Ohio visit. Then Niagara Falls. Rainbows in the mist. Alex's first splash. Hotel nights. Babysitter bliss. Will's hands rediscovering curves softened by birth. Beautiful, he breathed, kisses trailing. All of you, passion renewed, fierce. But whispers grew, Will's old firm circled. Headhunter calls, big money, partner track. Stay no, Daniel urged. This life's good. Will wavered, eyes distant. Just talks. Fall leaves turned. Alex crawling chaos. Daniel's film deal signed, his script, his vision. Red carpet dreams. But grounded. Playdates. Park picnics. Thanksgiving, extended fam. Ohio kin meeting Alex. Mom's turkey. Dad's tales, war stories laced with pride now. Boys got your eyes. Son. Will grilled with uncles. Fitting seamless. Post-feast walk. Crisp air. Daniel slipped. Marry me? For real. Courthouse. Vows. The works. Will stopped. Snow flurrying early. Thought you'd never ask. Kiss. Ceiling. Wedding simple, January. City Hall. Suits. Alex in a tiny bow tie. Friends witnessing. Vows. Will's voice cracking. I take your hand. Danny, through storms. Betrayals. Never leaving. Daniels, you saved me once. Now we save each other. Rings exchanged. Cheers. Reception. Dive bar. Toasts raucous. Dance floor slow. Will's hand low on his back. World fading. Bliss peaked. Then cracked. Will's talks turned offers. 6 figures. Tribeca office. Stability for Alex, he argued. Daniel's gut twisted. Or temptation? Trust frayed. Late nights again. Networking. Daniel checked phone once. Guilt gnawing. Jay's contact. Deleted but. What? Confront. Kitchen. Alex asleep. Choose. Us or them. Will's jaw set. It's for us. Liar. Echoes of old fights. Will packed a bag that night. Space. To think. Door shut soft. But final. Daniel curled with Alex. Sobs muffled. Betrayal round 2. Sharper for the stakes. Days blurred. Solo parenting. Feedings at dawn. Friends rallied, sister flying in. Playgroup moms with casseroles. Daniel wrote through it. Memoir addendum. Fractured vows. Will called. Miss you both. Coming back. Prove. He did quit the offer. Showed the email. Therapy solo. Then joint. Fear again, Will admitted. Of failing you. Healing slow. Alex's first steps. Wobbly to Will's arms. Daniel's cheers. Milestone glue. Spring film wrap. Table read. Tears. Premiere invite. Ken. But Daniel stayed. Alex's birthday first. Party in the park. Cake smeared. Will's gift. Custom book. Alex's adventures, daddy written. Summer idol. Coney Island. Cotton candy laughs. Will proposed expansion. Another kid? Someday? Daniel smiled. Someday. But autumn brought storm. Jay resurfaced. Email to Will. CC'd Daniel. Saw the wedding pics. Cute. But we both know you crave more. Will forwarded instantly. Blocked forever. Daniel raged. How's he got your email? Old list. Gone now. Trust teetered. Fight. Always an out. Will's plea. No. You're my in. Reconciliation raw sex after. Reclaiming. But scar tissue thickened. Winter holidays. Lights. Magic. Alex's second Christmas. wonder-eyed. Vows renewed quiet. By tree, hand in hand, Daniel hoped. Human frailty, after all. Climax brewed subtle. Daniel's film buzzed, Oscar whispers. LA trip, we'll joined, red carpet arm in arm. Flashbulbs, cheers, couple goals, after party, schmoozing, will cornered by old firm suit. Laughter, cards exchanged. Daniel saw, yanked him away. Hotel fight, again, it's nothing, everything, door slam. Daniel to the balcony, city sprawl mocking. Will followed, rain starting eternal motif. Danny, leave, heart shattered. Will didn't. Knelt in the downpour, I choose you. Always have. Forgive, tears mixed rain. Daniel pulled him up, kiss desperate. Try, back inside. Body's healing words failed. Morning, flight home, hands clasped. But fracture lingered. Home, Alex's hug mended some. Therapy dug deep. Will's alpha mask, facade for insecurity. Daniel's codependence, love as savior. Growth, boundaries set. Will's job capped. Daniel's tours scheduled together. Spring, family hike. Alex toddling. Lake edge. Will's hand in Daniel's. Promise holds. Tight. Summer film release. Box office smash. Reviews raves. Authentic. Heartbreaking. Award season. Noms rolled screenplay. Actor. Oscars night. Tuxes. Nerves. Daniel's speech. If win, prepared. Heart led. Backstage. Win confirmed, gold in hand. Podium. Lights blinding. Voice steady. This is for the bridges we cross. The hands that hold. For Will, my alpha, my anchor. Love wins, not easy, but real. Cheers thundered. Wings, Will's arms crushing. You, afterglow party, toast. A quiet moment. Balcony, proud, always. Kiss, skyline witness. The Oscar glow faded into domestic rhythm. Award on the mantle. Alex pointing shiny. Mornings. Daniel's star rose. TED Talk on queer resilience. Book deals stacking. Will balanced. Nonprofit director now. Grant wins funding shelters. Our legacy, he'd say. Alex on his shoulders. But peace, earned, vigilant. Anniversaries marked deliberate. First date. Bridge walk, no jumps. Just hands clasped. City evolved below. Remember, Will murmured. Never forget. Daniel leaned in. Kiss salt-tanged. Parenting deepened bonds. Alex's questions early. Why two daddies? Answered simple. Love makes families. School hunts. Progressive pre-K. Rainbows on walls. First day. Tears. Will's stoic wipe. Daniel's sniffle. Pick-up hugs. Finger paints. Challenges wove in. Media scrutiny. Tabloids digging. Secret affairs? Jay's shadow. Faded but inkling. Daniel addressed in interview. Love's not perfect. It's human. We fight. Forgive. Hold on. Fans resonated. Letters pouring. Your story saved my marriage. We'll read them aloud nights. Voice thick. We're helping. Fall. Family trip west Grand Canyon. Vast red rock humbling. Alex awed. Big hole. Campfire tales. Will's ghost stories scaring giggles. Hike rim. Daniel slipped, trail loose. Ankle twist. Will caught, carried down, got you, hospital ER, brace, ice. Will's vigil, like that bridge. Daniel laughed through pain. Hero complex. Your hero. Winter whispered expansion. Fertility consults. Dreams of sibling. Alex needs a playmate. Will teased. Process intimate shots. Waits. Hopes. Positive joy explosion. Girl. Will guessed. Hand on bump. Spring birth. Lily. Fierce cry. Hospital dawn. Family complete. Will held both. My world. Daniel watched. Tears, humanistic pinnacle, flawed path to this. Summer idol. Park picnics. Lily's coups. Daniel's next book. Hands held. Family tales. Will illustrated wolf guardian. Boy with curls. Launch. Intimate. Backyard. Friends. Fam. Readings tender. Promises kept aren't flawless. They're chosen. Daily. Fall storms tested. Will's old boss called crisis. One favor. Daniel tensed. No. Will hung up. Right? Us first. Trust solidified. Holidays. Chaos, joy, turkey. Toys. Ohio Zoom with grandparents. Vows by fire. 10 years. Will tallied. Feels like yesterday. Kiss. Kids asleep. Aging crept gentle. Will's temple silver. Daniel's laugh lines. Date nights. Babysitters. Jazz clubs. Dances slow. Alex's first crush. Classmate boy. Hand-holding shy. Like you and Daddy, he said. Daniel beamed. Exactly. Lily's toddles. Words. Love you. Legacy bloomed. Climax revisited. Bridge anniversary. Kids in carriers. Rain light. Will knelt. Rings renewed. Hand in hand. Through all. Daniel pulled him up. Never leave. Storm cleared. Rainbow arching. City pulsed. Alive. Years folded. Alex college bound. Queer and proud activist spark. Lily artist. Fierce heart. Empty nest. Travels Paris cafes. Tokyo neon. Will's hand. Arthritic now. Still mine. Always. Final chapter. Daniel's memoir. Bridge to forever. Epilogue. Sunset porch. Adirondacks cabin, their retreat. Rockers Creek. Tea steaming. Regrets. Will asks. Gray eyes faded but sharp. None. You. Will squeezes. Saved by you. Stars will. Promises echo. Life's arc. From void to vessel. Love the thread. Human. Messy. Enduring. In the end, the alpha didn't leave. He stayed handheld, future woven.